Well, that begs the question is what got you into teaching then? Because what you just described kind of reminds me of teaching.
It was just randomly my first year, university. It it's not gonna sound great, but I was heading away for reading week, and my parents I was living at home at the time, and my parents were like, "Hey, we're not gonna you can't go on a reading week vacation unless you have a job lined up for the summer." Because they're like, "We're not paying for you to just go
Right.
gallivant," and so I was like, "Okay, fine." So I went on the U of A website, I applied to the first 4 or 5 that seemed applicable, and one of them was, like, science and engineer summer camps. So, effectively, the way the program worked was it was our so for the university, it was a 4-month summer or whatever. Your first 2 months, we would go into schools and classrooms across Alberta and the territories, and we would deliver curriculum-based workshops that would then promote our summer camps. And then
Cool.
we'd try and get the kids out to science and engineering summer camps. And so I saw the description for that. I'm like, this sounds pretty much right up my alley. And so I shot off an application, got a call, ended up going to those. Man, those are some weird interviews. Those were weird. But we ended up I going went through that interview process. I got that job and I did that
What was
for
the interview like? Like, what made it weird?
so it was because they had so many applicants. Like I think the year I applied, there was like 300 or something. They weeded it down to about 100 and they did group interviews. So we would go about 30 of us a night and they would just put us in one of the engineering labs. And for example, they would be the first hour, they would have us set out at stations, like maybe 6 or 8 to a table, just people you've never met. And they're like, "Here's your materials. Here's a bucket of water. You guys have to build the tallest tower that can still float, but you guys can't talk to each other. You have 5 minutes, go." And they just walk around and write notes about our process and how we would do it. And so they gave us like very open-ended, like kind of STEM challenges and then saw how we would navigate those. And then periodically, someone would come into the room and pull us out one by one for individual interviews. And so it was a group interview where you're basically hanging out, be like, "Hey, now build a cantilever that can hold 5 pounds, and you only have popsicle sticks and string." You're like, "I'm supposed to do this, right?" And then the actual individual interview was again the most bizarre. The first question I got asked, they asked me, "How would you estimate the weight of an empty 747?" Go. Then you produce an answer.
A little different than, a teaching
A
interview.
little bit.
Like,
Yeah.
no buzzwords can get you through that, right?
No, synergy
Yeah.
and yeah, pedagogy, those ones don't work. Yeah. So it was, but that I ended up I got that job and I really liked it was a combination again. It was like being in school again where I as soon as I stepped into the classroom, it it combined a lot of things that I enjoy. Like it was a place where I get to so you almost get to put on a show, right?
Mm.
I like to be funny, I like to laugh at the kids, I like to joke, I like so you get to put on a show. I've always found I'm really good at explaining things, like, even just growing up, like, that was always that was my teacher's solution a lot of times to deal with me in class was like, "Hey, instead of you derailing everybody, could you just go and try and teach them the math instead of being a problem?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I probably could."
You're like a helper, like an EA
After
almost.
yeah, once I got to middle school and I
Yeah.
kinda shifted then I basically became a second teacher in the room, and I realized it seemed like a good fit, like, it just felt like it worked. I liked helping people, and, like,